Okay, folks, Book of Boba, part 4. If you don't want a spoiler, it's time to turn this off right now. Run away. Bookmark it. Come back later. So you got a little bit of warning. This is going to be spoiler heavy. 3, 2, 1. I warned you. She's a cyborg. Robot Dobby. A deal with the crime bosses and much more on today, episode number 4 of the Bookend.
Stand by to receive our transmission.
Robot Dobby. You just
That's
jumped
what
ahead, man. That's
I
awesome.
am calling him Robot Dobby. Did you? I was like, is it look like anything else than a Dobby to me?
No, I thought it was fantastic too. So
Uh,
we will get to that, but I
Yeah.
enjoyed that particular scene. So good to see.
Okay, overall.
Yes.
First overall, what was your did you like the episode?
I actually did. This episode made me happy.
Really?
There were some slow points, which for whatever reason, maybe it's just my mindset when I was watching it, I almost actually fell asleep. But the energy was down during a lot of the scenes. Mm-hmm. So this to me was more of like okay, we've had some wacky episodes now, and now we're just going to kind of get back to the story and point out a few things. And then there were some subtle things that hit me hard this episode. So let's dive in.
This was for me. I feel like I'm going to get excited talking about certain things that happened.
Yeah.
For me, it was like, oh, I like this one the least.
Really?
So I was like, I think Brian's probably loves it or something.
You and I are like each other's yings to each other's yangs, man. It's like you go heavy on one, I go light, and then it's switcheroni.
I didn't hate it, but I was like, is this it? Are you just really going to spend this much time talking about like, well, you guys are slow playing this. I was okay. So we open up
in a Bacta tank. Oh my gosh.
Which was a little weird.
What is that?
I was actually trying to figure out, wait, is it Bacta tank? Is he always going to the Bacta tank? Or is this
I actually
previous memory?
Like I actually stopped and made sure I was on episode 4. Because I was like, wait, did the thing jump in Disney Plus do a hiccup and I'm back on episode 3? So I needed to make sure. But what happened? The robot is like, you're 100% cured. I'm alive. He actually called out that Boba is 100% well, and now we can stop seeing him in his goddamn skivvies. So I think this was the announcement to the fans that the flashbacks are going to go away. Maybe there'll be 1 or 2 more as he maybe gets a PTSD.
Wait, when did the robot say that?
What's that?
When did the robot say that?
The second he got out of the Bacta tank, the first droid that came up to him is like, I'm alive, but no, he actually said, congratulations or whatever.
Okay.
You're 100% healed. So I think the Bacta tank floaty episodes are going to be over. Hence signifying that the majority of the flashbacks are done. We've pretty much caught up. And this episode dealt with the majority, I think, of what we need to feel as fans that we're caught up.
Okay.
And now we're going to stay in the present.
And is that going to be sad? Are we going to be sad
No, I'm done with the flashbacks. I've learned all I need
what's happening now.
Yeah, I mean, now he's like a peace-loving guy that also blows the crap out of biker gangs if necessary, right? But now we're back. So I feel we've come full circle, and I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yeah. You hated this episode. You're like, oh.
Well, I'm trying to here's the problem with the Bacta tank so much. I'm like, okay, when is he? Well, how do we flash back on this one? Because we're looking at him because I wasn't messed up. Okay, because there's 2 shots of the so the first he's in the Bacta tank and then we go into the flashback.
Yes.
And at the end of the flashback, he's done. Okay.
Yeah, because
I got confused. I was like, well, maybe I was wrong. Okay.
So the flashback was him once again riding the slowest bantha in history.
Either these are. how
he
I don't know
should
how they get
he should
anywhere.
be checking his Facebook status or something. He's like so wicked, poised
It's
as he's on this thing, and I would be going nuts. I'd be.
I think the least realistic thing about any of these is that there is no like Game Boy or something for them to
Yeah, exactly.
entertain
Now
themselves on.
I'm sure the mod junkies have something that'll pop out of their wrist and they
Right.
can play like mod Jenga or something. But it's very sad. Like Boba's bored a lot. But anyway, so he finds Fennec, and it's neat that they're kind of now tying it into the Mandalorian scenes.
Well, first he goes and looks. He's gonna go kill some biker dudes, right?
No.
Yeah. First thing he heads over, checks out, and he's like, "Oh, there's too many."
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he checks out, but Bib Fortuna's / Jabba's palace, can't get a good count.
Yeah,
and then he jumps back
like,
on the
even
Uber
he
Bantha.
because he knows if he has to do a getaway, this Bantha's not.
Stop, or I'll yell stop
like,
again.
And he goes and cooks. I want to know. Okay, so then he's like at a campfire with the Bantha.
Yeah, and he's
cooking it, and I'm like, he feeds it, and I was like, why do I feel like he just fed a Bantha like a baby Bantha? Like, I was like, what did he eat? What did he find?
Well,
like,
and let's get all National Geo on you here for a second. How the hell could a Bantha be an omnivore or possibly a carnivore? I would think they'd be like vegetation based or something, because how are they going to catch anything? They're the slowest lumberers on the planet. So the fact that he fed it meat, to me, was very weird.
Yeah,
like maybe they are omnivores. They'll eat anything that just happens to crawl into their pie hole.
Probably.
Otherwise, they'll go suck on a tree.
I hadn't really thought about that. Yeah, like some of these, how do they? There has to be an ecosystem of sorts.
There is, and actually, like that alone could be like. I mean, there needs to be an entire series about the ecosystems of the planets. That would be so fascinating.
Well, that's true. They'd come up with stuff.
Yeah, they could just play with that, and all of us fans would be like, "Oh, good, okay, he does that. Tell me more." I mean, we would just suck it in because it's Star Wars.
And then they decide, they're like, "Oh, you know what? So since it's dark, let's just really make it dark," because they probably hate it when you're watching something like, "Oh, there's no source for that light," and so like, let's keep it dark.
Yeah.
Did you check? I like kind of checked my lighting. I was like, is something wrong? Is it supposed to be this dark?
Which scene are you talking about?
Well, right after that is when the he sees his light in the sky, the shooting star.
Yeah.
And then he goes to her, and it's just dark.
Yeah, well, it's nighttime. Like the old joke, like night fell.
Yeah. So I can't see anything. I was irritated on that. I'm like, I can't see what's going on.
Well,
so he went and picked up Fennec.
You have a shitty TV, because there wasn't any problem with that scene. I mean, it's nighttime. What the heck do you want? Nighttime said night. There's no lights on at night. The two sons were in Sleepy Town.
You can cheat it. It doesn't have to be in real. It reminded me of my parents when they said the first time they saw Platoon. Okay. And they were like, "This is ridiculous. Why is it so dark? Like, why can't we see anything?" And it wasn't until the next day that they realized my brother had gone up and was playing with the knobs on the bottom of the TV.
He dialed the contrast down.
Pretty much turned it all into dark. And so they had no idea, because there were night scenes in the movie. So they didn't realize he had done that. And they hadn't watched the TV that day. And,
that is really funny. So your brother's a jerk, basically.
Which is why you no longer have, he was 2 years old. Like, he didn't know. He was just playing with stuff. That's why you don't do that anymore.
Okay.
So then
back on track. He picks
up his fallen angel. Do you think he knows who she is? So
he did call her out, and I think somehow in the bounty hunter world and Creed or whatever, he probably recognized her mask or something. So I do think he knew who she was, and I'm glad that he didn't call a fast Uber. He once again throws her body over the top of the slowest.
She'll make it.
Uber.
She'll make it.
I mean, it's a gut wound. She's bleeding out, but here, let's go.
Well, does she die?
No,
Does he say something about her like you were
I,
dead?
I think she was near death. I mean, the mod people, whatever they are, they're not alchemists, for crying out loud. I think she was just near death and bleeding out. He might have like shoved a Tuscan wrap in there or something to
Okay.
help her out as she
He's like,
slowly jostled back and forth on the stupid bantha.
yeah. If only he's like, if we were on a freezing planet, I could put you in a
Would have
wampa.
been a phoenicicle or something at that point. So
Okay.
let's talk about the mod bar. I thought that was super cool.
I like that it tied in to that. That's how he kind of knew about the droid people or the droid mods. Well, and also like it didn't seem like he wasn't just modding her. He was like he's turned her into a cyborg. Like it.
Well, I mean, it's just a mod. I don't think the cyborg term is really used anywhere in the
No,
Star
not in
Wars.
non-Star Wars, but this.
So I mean, he had her saved, and hopefully you caught the cameo of who the doctor was. Did you catch who the doctor was?
I'm looking right now.
That's Stephen Lee Burner or Bruner, excuse me. Thundercat. He's known for all that crazy ass music, and I think that's what was playing at the mod bar. So I thought it was cool because it was all that like sometimes space.
Well, you must have hated that because you recognized him and you can't like visualize him in another role.
I'm done stressing about stupid crap like that. I do think it's funny every episode now. I'm like, do I know that person? Do I know the person? And yeah, I mean, it was just a fun cameo. But either way, I love the fact that they did the typical scene in any science fiction show that has somebody with a modified hand. So he takes off his 3-fingered mod hand, puts on the one that's got like every single tool a crazy doctor would need. And they're the stupidest things. It's like a little tiny like eyelash scissors, and all these stupid things. And I just thought that was so funny because again, this is a show for kids. I get it. I'm just a kid stuck in a grown-up's body. So to me, it was funny because it was so ridiculously far-fetched and stupid. But maybe that's also why Boba Fett doesn't like droids and the Mandalorian doesn't like droids. Maybe so many people have been modded in some capacity. There's that also like there's that trust issue there, right?
Okay. I will go. Okay, this backs up into a little lore and old legends stuff.
Yeah.
The legends I thought made it clear. Actually, I don't that there was some issue with droids in the past that people didn't like them, and what I thought Lucas was gonna do was okay. So clones in the legends had been the Clone Wars were actually like all these different factions had their own clones, and they were sending them to fight each other.
But it became too,
and that's what destroyed. That's what was destroying the galaxy, was that there was this endless supply of troops. So war just kept happening over and over, and so it decimated planets, and that's why it was so devastating. And then I thought Lucas was going to tie in the droids fighting the clones to be like, oh, that's why there's an endless supply. You can build either one of these, and droids are so evil, and that's why everybody hates them later on.
I think there's a universal animosity toward droids because of exactly that.
But then I don't get what the droids that he made, these little goofball, Roger, like, oh, does everyone hate droids, or are they just annoyed as fuck about them? Because
I think that's
droids you guys are annoying. You guys are really annoying.
Well, and in A New Hope, the original gravelly, scrappy bartender, whose name I've completely forgotten, is not important. Somewhere they went into his backstory. He's an ex-soldier, and that's why he has a no droid policy.
Right.
Like, I don't trust these droids. Get out of here. You know what I mean?
Because they can be an assassin droid, which are illegal.
I think the IG ones and then the battle droids and the droidicas and everything just pretty much effed everyone's opinion of droids, unless it's a service droid. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think long story short, yeah,
and they
there's
need to
some
be
there's some
like
pent-up
they have to
issue.
have a harness thing on them, a
A
control
restraining bolt, which I've
restraining
never quite
bolt.
understood.
I think it's supposed to help stop them from attacking humans, and somebody
Oh,
can
so it's like a little piece of
and
code.
an off switch that most people can access of
Yeah.
some
All
sort if
right.
they need to.
All right.
What I gather in
So
my so
Fennec wakes up. Where am I? Where am I? Why does my stomach feel like wrought iron?
does she explain why she got there? Did I miss that?
Yeah, she just said, "Where am I?"
But she
And
never
then
says
Boba launches into his story that we know about. And
why she flew. Like she got thrown from a ship, I imagine, right?
no, she got killed in the Mandalorian, or shot, wounded, almost dead in the Mandalorian episode. She got doubled. The guy that she was with turned around and shot her.
That's right. What was the shooting star thing?
I have no idea. So
Because that's what got his attention to look over there.
yeah, I haven't researched any of this episode yet, so I'm
gotta
curious
watch
as to where that
Mandalorian again.
call sign was from, because it was like a freaking flare, like, "Hey, I'm over here." I mean,
Oh, I was thinking it was like a ship had flown out because I'm all lost in the time.
that's right.
I
And
gotta
the
watch.
TV
I gotta
sucks
watch.
and it was too dark.
Gotta watch
To
Mandalorian.
me, it looked like a locator flare. Maybe
Okay.
he sent it up, right, and then collapsed. Who knows?
Yeah.
But point is that she wakes up, asks where she is. We get to hear the story again from Boba ad nauseum, and then he states straight up that, I want you to stick with me and help me do this. And then he was kind of aiming for a life debt, which I think we're going to see more and more. Everything he does is calculated, even though
Yeah.
he might kind of be a bumbling idiot at times,
Yeah.
constantly getting thrown around by a huge 10-foot Wookiee. I think we're going to start to see his multi-level planning. So he saves her. He knows who she is. He saves her. He creates instant trust by handing her a rifle right off the bat, like she could have done. You modded me, you son of a bitch, and popped him right there. No, I think he knew that if he offers her the water from, by the way, he hints that the alien melon, the watermelon, get it? See what I did there? He hinted toward its restorative properties and its addictive properties. Did you catch that? He was like, "Soon you'll crave it." And I was like, this is creepy. Is this like beef jerky? Do people want it so bad they go anywhere? It was so weird. Like,
I hadn't thought about that.
they totally glossed over it, but he was like, "You would feel better."
Well, because it said something about it will taste like it tastes bad.
It tastes bad,
But
but then you'll crave it. And I'm like, is this like some
Oh.
addictive shit?
I hadn't really thought of it that way. I guess I was thinking of it more in a, I don't know, coconut water. I think that's nasty. Then people are like, "Oh, I gotta have it. You gotta have my coconut water." That's what I was thinking of.
If it's one of the only potentially liquid sources on a semi-regular basis on your average jaunt out in the dunes of the desert,
my son would still not eat it if he didn't like it. He'd be like, "No, kill me. Let me die.
yeah,
I will not eat that.
Just drag my carcass behind a band."
I don't like it. I will not eat it."
So then they go check out Jabba's palace again with Fennec's help.
Yeah, and let's see, get that far. And I'm using the episode as a cheat sheet.
Oh my goodness! Look at you.
I need two monitors next time so that I can actually be looking at it. Not
So Fennec obviously is worth her salt because she pops open yet one more thing from the back, of her rifle. She's got throwing knives. She has a Ginsu, knife set. She has a Ronco rotisserie, and then she has little tiny, spy orbs.
Yeah.
Which no one, of course, recognizes in the pitch dark of a Tatooine evening. See, I said it wrong. Canto. These big freaking red eyeballs shooting around. But, goes and checks out the facility, texture maps everything. She's like, maybe there's going to be an MLS listing soon. Jabba's Palace up for sale. Got to do a 3D walkthrough. Scan it with the little Orby thing,
And he tells then they go back, tells the Bont that to go take a walk.
he
Get out of here.
The stick. Here's
the thing. She's like, "Oh, but what if we needed to get away?" And I'm thinking, like, you know what? By the time you rate it, if you want to get out, you can probably just run up and catch it. I don't think
It's only going to be like 30 feet away.
Yeah, like, you can get to it. Don't worry, it's not going far.
I now have this fantasy of a bantha chase scene that would just be so funny. Stormtroopers still couldn't hit it, you know. That'd be fantastic. Hold still, damn it! I was only trained for a week before I got, you know.
That would be great if they like someone jumped on it because they thought they were gonna ride fast, and it was just
they're like,
seriously?
Oh my god, that's really really fun.
How has nobody caught the sand people yet? Nobody's caught them. God.
And why was Fennec surprised that a biker gang with speeders and laser guns defeated a whole tribe, which was only like a dozen, maybe 2 dozen Tuskens? Like, so when he explained that they wiped out the whole tribe, now I'm going to go get my ship and kick their ass, she was all surprised.
Well, because they're such good fighters and everything. I think that's why I don't think they did it. I think it's a setup. Oh
no, I agree.
Okay.
But at the same time, you don't bring a stick to a laser fight. So it's like, in her mind as this badass assassin, it shouldn't have been that much of a toss up.
I think there's something, you know, like it's like when you're playing, like you nerds, when you play Dungeons and Dragons or something, right? Like how everything has its like advantage.
Yeah.
And I think the Raiders must have something in them that gives them a leg up against technology, because I mean, with all this technology, you think someone
they're not like Fremen. They don't pop out of the sand.
I don't know what they do,
yeah.
But I think they got something that they're able to hold their own against not getting wiped out after all this time.
I think it's their lore. Like, I think it's their stigma of being like all badass and stuff, which now this show is pretty much
ruined. Yeah, now we know they're softies.
It's basically just like softy tribes that do kunga munga dances around a fire.
My daughter's gonna want a Tusken Raider doll now.
It's so cute.
Oh, they're cute. Like
he walks. Face. Why not? No one knows what they look like. All right. So, Slave One. I just got to call it. Did you catch what Boba Fett finally did?
Wait, first he chases in. Oh, but they had to go get it. They fight. Isn't this for Dobby?
Okay. I jumped ahead. So
is this where they find Dobby?
So they texture map the whole inside. They come up with the plan, and then they end up just coming up through a drain vent, and then we meet the Ginsu chef, General Grievous knife spinning salad shooter, which was hilarious and stupid. And then the one droid that was part of Return of the Jedi, who was like who R2D2 bumped into, and he's like, you know, off my ship or whatever. So they brought that droid back.
Here's something interesting now. Now that we are looking at, and I know this is retconning probably, but now that we know that they can droid mod people, to look really human, you know that it must be possible for them to make robots look more human.
Well, that's what they did with C-3PO class. But
I think they can make them look even smoother, right? So I think there's a purposeful thing they got going on to make all these droids not look like people. There's something going on. I think you probably have too high hopes for the intelligence of Lucas and maybe the rest of the staff. I don't think it's worth going down that route. I don't think that they're gonna do it. Now, if they bring in the Yuzhan Vong and go that route and can make organic badassery visually stimulating and awesome, then maybe they'll go down a robot route. But I don't think AI. I don't think that fear and that thing is really a thing in this universe, and it doesn't. Okay. Well, see, because Dobby, the Dobby bot here, which is the rat catcher. He's known as the rat catcher. He looks like Dobby to me. Well, no. I'm just saying his role, that was the rat catcher. He's the one that got called by the droid to come check out the grate. Right. Because he's the rat catcher. That's why he's fast and, can go through crawl spaces. He's a naked droid running around with big ears. And then Boba gives him a sock and then he's free. and that's how they got rid of him.
I just loved how expressive he was. So I actually got a real kick out of that. And of course, when he's walking through basically the oven and there's fire underneath him, my son, of course, is like, "Hi, he's gonna get chestnuts roasted." So you know, like my kids are having fun with this. And then he's so expressive, he's so scared. The little eye slits turn to the side, like, "Oh, Dobby."
Then he commits suicide.
He turns himself off. I thought that was the funniest damn thing. Because that's just like the IG-88 or the IG-89 droid who had the bomb in his chest. And he was always like, "I must engage the something protocol." I thought that was hilarious too, because the droid's always like, "Oh, F this, I can't get out of it. It can't be recovered. I'm going to incinerate myself." I thought that was awesome. You didn't.
It was amusing. That part was amusing to me. But then they get the boba, and then they fight a couple Gamorreans. And I'm still trying to remember, like, the Gamorreans that he ends up getting, were they ones from Jabba's palace?
They were. So possibly he was throat punching his future guards.
Okay.
But we don't know, because there were probably more than one, or
more.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of Gamorreans. They just all look alike to me.
Right. So yeah, I mean, a few of them got taken out. I loved that they allowed Fennec to shine in that scene, because she was, you know, she's definitely not an ex-Imperial officer or whatever, because she was hitting every shot she took. Badass. And I mean, she made the escape in the ship possible. But so we're going to go back to this now. He finally called it the ship that it actually is. It's never been referenced. He called it the Fire Spray. So I think that, for starters, because it is a Fire Spray 31 class patrol attack ship. Yeah, it's really sad that I know that off the top of my head. So the fact that they did that, I think Fire Spray is going to become the next, you know, kit you see with Lego and your new action figure. Slave One is going to be renamed as Fire Spray. I think they're just going to do that now.
Because they renamed it Boba's ship,
which is stupid.
Well, but makes sense because people didn't know what to call it.
Not a name. It's it
was an SEO friendly.
It's
find the ship.
Now Fire Spray.
Fire Spray will probably be easier
associated with
it. It's the Fire Spray type though, right? Like it's not
a Fire Spray 31 class. So it is the classification of that ship. It also looks like a floating boot. I mean, it's kind of a weird design anyway.
It also makes more sense to call it the Fire Spray.
Yeah.
Rather than like to someone else, rather than, "Hey, jump on my Slave One."
Yeah.
Like it was like, what are you talking about? Oh, Fire Spray, your ship.
And there was I've never seen anything anywhere that explains where the Slave One name comes from. It's just that everyone in this woke ass society has decided that you can't use the word slave, period, even if it's something that's really innocent in the sense of that ship named in 1987.
Well, here to woke you up a little. How about
Please
this?
do.
This is what when I was a kid, and this came out in 80 or Return of the
I thought it was 87.
Empire came out in what? 1980.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right. And then I heard the name of the ship was Slave One. And me as a 6-7-year-old, I was like, I said, "Is Boba racist?" Like I said that.
Yeah.
And I never wanted that ship. I did not like the name of it.
Wow. Okay.
It very much bothered me. And as I got older and learned other things, like when I first found out that there was a drive called Master and Slave, I was like, what? Like, I'm like, that bothered me. Yeah. And I mean, I even did not like I took karate.
Yeah.
And when I found out I was supposed to call the guy Master, I turned to my dad. I was like, is he serious? Like, it bothered me. It did bother me. Those little things, like it's micro things that they just nibble at you.
Yeah.
And that's what that has always been. I've never had a desire to own it until I got older and wanted to play it because it was a cool ship on the game. But it bothers you. And so
So in my ignorance, which is huge in that sense, because I don't know if you've noticed, I'm pasty ass white.
Yeah.
This is a whole different conversation, but my only frustration is changing the past. So if they want to rename it, cool. But to have like everybody have to apologize for that back in the day. I mean, we also, places used to also smoke all the time and do horrible things to women in the workplace, which granted I know happens nowadays too. But I mean, point is, it's like there again, whole different conversation.
But I don't think nobody's asking to change. Nobody
Yeah.
even asked to change the name of slave. I just think it was like nobody liked. Some
No,
people didn't like to use it.
cancer
They didn't
culture.
like to.
The entire
Sometimes people just change things. I've never heard anybody say, "Let's go cancel the." I've never heard that about Slave One. I've always not liked it. But I never said, "Let's go change it."
Slave One got targeted, and as did the whole Princess Leia in the Jabba's outfit little bikini thing. It was considered sexist and cruel, misogynistic, and everything else. They're never apparently going to reissue another mold of Carrie Fisher in that outfit.
I mean,
it's a role she played in a movie.
Yeah.
And she was also a badass. She choked out a fucking slug,
Yeah.
Using the Force, by the way. So I mean, she actually took a bad and turned it into a hell of a badassery women power thing. Right?
Yeah,
that's what I've been told. That's not like my observation.
I don't know that it's I don't know. I watch a lot of Star Wars stuff and I never heard about people trying to cancel Slave One.
Yeah.
I never heard that. I just heard it when they changed the name and it was a legitimate people are trying to find the ship and they don't know what it's called. So let's just change it to Boba's ship. Like I've seen it as Han's ship too.
Yeah.
Like not Millennium. Because people can't spell Millennium. But
I'm gonna call it Fire Spray from now on, and at some point someone's gonna turn that into like a porn meme or something. But until they do, Fire Spray.
Now, I do get like when my daughter said she wanted to dress like Princess Leia, well then she goes that outfit. I'm like, no, let's. You know what? We can cancel this until you're older. I don't want to dress you as the slave outfit. I think if we hadn't called it Princess Leia's slave outfit, that might have helped a little bit. But it was still putting her in a bikini. And now we know that also because we now have the knowledge of that she was a coke addict at the time.
Well, and she also didn't wear a bra or panties during the entire filming of the entire series because Lucas convinced her there was no bra and panties in space. What the fuck?
So we look at some things and we go like, oh, I can live without the. They don't have to make the action figure for me. I'm okay. I can. I'm not gonna.
That's fine. I want the Dobby droid in an action figure.
Oh, I'm sure that
stick a coin.
That is gonna show up. I guarantee.
I want to stick a
minimum a Lego one. There's gonna be a minimum a Lego.
Like a 400.
There are so many robots now.
Yeah.
Like this is. I would like to think that this isn't built just for merch. Like, but there's a lot of merch.
Are you aware that Disney has now the company? Are you aware that the merch that?
Well, wait, Lucas. I mean,
for merch and like
Lucas did not need to make 100,000 aliens, but he definitely was building for merch too.
Definitely. Okay, so let's talk about what he.
Okay, so
right off the bat goes and does with his ship.
Finds those biker gang.
Great scene.
They're just riding around. He comes up behind them. I'm looking at it right now. Oh my god! I'm like, I'm just gonna kill you.
Yeah,
there's right now.
I loved it,
and he's got this vengeance in his eyes. Like he's like
he had the cray stare.
Yeah,
and he just decimates them. And I thought it was really, really well done. I'll just stop by saying I'm surprised he didn't leave one alive to come back and give a good solid Boba stare as he grabbed his tunic and said, "Take this back to your leaders," rah, rah, and then maybe bit his face or something like a rabbit.
Yeah. Well, I thought he might want to like tell the others or something.
Yeah, that's my point. But maybe a nice face bite. That a bacta tank will heal after 4 episodes.
And here's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, because
he did this, and it was like okay, here's our hero, right, of the show. Yeah. He just killed a bunch of people that were like not only were their backs turned to him, like they had no defense against him.
Well, are
That
you
was
like
a
worried that,
slaughter.
oh, they have families too? I mean, they're bad
Well,
guys. He's the anti-hero.
but I think when he finds out, I think we're gonna find out that they didn't do it. He's gonna have
Oh,
some guilt.
I don't think there's even going to be a nod. He's a soon-to-be ex-bounty hunter. He's killed so many people. He doesn't give a crap.
But I think he's reborn, right, from the Raiders. That's why he wants to be a little different.
Reborn with a little bit of
Yeah,
opacity issues
okay.
on some of his.
Well, I'm calling it right now. This is
documents.
my prediction: is that he's gonna
Okay.
feel guilty about, and that's part of why he's doing things the way he.
Maybe he'll have a little floaty session in the back to tank when he has this little issue. And then they'll get a little flashback where his first teddy bear had his head torn off by a at that point a 4-foot tall Wookiee, and we'll leave it at that. But I don't know.
And then he's like, "Okay, I killed them. Now I need my clothes back."
Which does not make sense to me. And can I just jump to why?
Yeah.
Okay, so they go to the Sarlacc. They're not sure if it's alive or not. They have this scene where it is, and the horrible CGI from when they added it during the refreshed versions of 1, 2, and 3. I guess no, that's 4, 5, and 6. Number 6. So it's kind of funny. They're like peering over the edge, and I like how they steered the ship because it's such an odd ship, and it's just kind of funny. And it comes up and attacks them, and then the cool sonic boom, but he crawled out in his armor, Silas. Why did he think the armor would have been magically tossed back into the Sarlacc? That was the strangest point behind that scene. He crawled out in the GD armor.
Yeah. Well, I got that. I was thinking the same thing, but then the way I put it in my head was between sort of the trauma of waking up in it, getting out, and then being taken by the Sand People. I just don't think he remembers anything that happened.
Okay, so he's just being thorough, right? Because
I think he's just thinking they must have been there. Like that must be where they are. I don't know why he thought they were in it. In
it to me was kind of the stupidest thing, but I'm okay with it because whatever, and they got to nuke it. It was just weird because it's like
I don't know why, because I was like, well, the Jawas took it from you. Like you don't remember getting out. So I don't think he remembers getting out of the Sarlacc pit. I think he remembers going in it, and then somehow like he was out.
Well, he told Fennec that he escaped the Sarlacc, that he crawled out during the fire scene with the Tatooine that's too dark for you. So I mean, he mentioned that. But maybe
it is a little weird.
Maybe he just assumed that the Tuskens would have stripped him, tossed it in as they dragged his tattered body off into the sunset behind the slowest bantha, which explains why he had no road rash, because the bantha's going 1 nautical mile an hour.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense because it used to be a water planet. That's why I used nautical, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
In space, there's no metrics.
It's a desert sea.
The Dune Sea. So
isn't that what they call it in Africa or
Sure. If you're in Africa, I don't know.
I think it's on a map.
If you're in Redmond, they call it the Dune Sea.
The Dunes, something like that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Are you in reality right now? You're talking Star Wars. You're very confusing.
Reality. I think there's a sea.
Okay, so
then they go, and then he like repels in to check it out. He can find his armor, and he can't.
And he comes out slimy again, being digested again. He pours water over his head, saying, "You're getting burned." So I liked how they kind of hinted toward the fact that it's some nasty ass shit down there. Like, you don't want to do that, you idiot. Your stuff is not there. Move on. So she's like a business coach, like a life coach at that point. What's your motivation, Boba? Like, she's really trying to get under his skin, which I found really kind of funny.
And then they go have a fireside chat here.
Yeah.
About being bounty hunters. Like they're better. Like we're better than them.
We are.
Exactly.
I'll hang with you. It's all good. You're healed.
And So he wants to start a house and wants her there, his muscle and
White picket fence. Yeah. He's looking
some,
for all the accoutrements.
somewhere that's green. Um, and he wants to offer her like a cut percentage
Yeah.
to do this. Like
Yep.
he's like, look, I'm gonna start a new company. Like I'm gonna have profit sharing. Okay, you're early in, you're gonna get some of it. All right.
Yeah,
So
this is grassroots, baby, on a desert dune sea planet. He's offering. I love the fact that they're literally bringing in business 101 mentality, because yeah, it is grassroots. It's foundations. He's offering a cut of the corporation, and she's like, hell yeah, this sounds better than running around popping people in the head for money.
yeah,
Because he alludes toward the riches, and then
I like his line. You can only get so far without a tribe.
exactly,
And
which
it's
is
true.
like that should be that's going to be in a shirt. Every life coach for the
Oh
next
yeah. Oh
month.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh
Yeah.
no, my friend John Barnes, absolutely. He has tribe dinner. He goes with his tribe. Like no, it's all his friends. He says
Really?
tribe dinner. Everyone gets together.
Do they like roast a pig in the ground and everything too?
Here's what's going to be interesting is some people, like I remember we had a discussion. He got attacked for using the term tribe. His
Oh,
tribe.
really?
Because people said that's for indigenous people and whatever. And I was like, and I'm a woke guy, and I'm like, no, it's not. No, tribe. That's not what tribe means. It's not strictly for indigenous. It
Yeah.
was, but everybody can have their own tribe.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a word. I don't think that's being a little oversensitive on the word.
Yeah.
Agreed. And so he is now creating his own tribe. Okay, and then they come out of the back of the tank, and the guy tells him, "You've healed." Okay,
That was in the very beginning.
no, now he's healed. No, he just came out. This is when he flashed. They come.
Oh, okay.
Right after this little chat.
I got that mixed up then. Okay.
After the fireside chat, they come. You see the back to tank again to tell us we're back to the modern time.
So now we're done watching him get out. And
and he said, "Okay, well, that's where I mixed up."
And then they go to the cantina, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where Grumpy
Eels, man.
Grumpy Chewbacca,
Grumpy Chewy, BK, Black Chrysanthemum.
Here's what I did not understand. I didn't quite understand the scene.
Okay.
Like he's just mad.
Well,
right?
okay, no.
Why was he mad at these particular people? Because they were happy?
Trandoshans, the lizard people, dude, the Bosks of their species, they hunt Wookiees.
Oh.
They ceremonially for, like rising up in their caste system, they actually kidnap Wookiees, bring them to their planet, and hunt their asses. So the fact that eventually Boba Fett, or I guess back in the day, he was wearing a Wookiee braid, he got that from Bosk, if memory serves, from some other ceremonial shit that he and Bosk did. So maybe it was a reach around. I have no idea. He has only 3 fingers. Who knows? Maybe it was.
I have seen rewatching, and I loved it. Boba just walks in as the guy Wookiee's kicking everyone's ass.
Well, it's
so like they never say that though. They never say that in this, right?
No, all of that is stuff that only geeks, lonely people like me know. So yeah, but I mean,
so me as not knowing this, I'm like a little lost why he's just being a complete, like, why are they making him like this?
He's definitely got hemorrhoids. Sure. I mean, he definitely has some major issues of sitting still and being nice. But yeah, Wookiees.
He comes and tries to bribe him to just like leave him alone.
Yeah,
we'll take care of you won't owe us any money. Which I was kind of like, does he seem like the kind of guy who's gonna pay? Like anyway, like,
but then you
stop him?
He rips out his little baggie
because he'd rather rip this guy's arm off.
Which was awesome. We finally got to see our first arm loss, which is magical. No blood, apparently. No one bleeds. But that was.
Well, it is a lizard, so he's just gonna grow a new one.
Oh, I wonder if they were playing with that, like the whole tail action. But okay, so I just have to say, I love, well, for starters, Jennifer Beals. Hello.
Yeah.
Space cleavage cracked me up. Like the camera was focusing on her cleavage, which was just really not necessary. But listen, I think we're going to see her start to become even more an integral part of the story with the multi levels of backstabbery and how she's heavily involved. Maybe she knows where the mayor is now and all that crap. But you got to see how she could like talk someone off a cliff, right? Even though brother still got his arm yanked off by BK because he's got anger issues.
Yeah.
But she's really in it. She's in it to win it. And I really want to see cool things happen with the Twi'leks or Twi'leks, whatever, in this whole arena of storytelling. Because I think she's going to be a really strong part of this.
She
What do you
calls no, I think she's gonna, the more she shows up, I'm like, I just can't decide if she's gonna be a bad guy or not, or if it's
I think she'll be like the Han Solo, right? She'll do underhanded smuggly things, but then she'll also help the good guys in this
the
story.
heart of gold.
Yeah.
She calls the Wookiee Santo.
Is that what she said? Okay.
I only know that now because I just saw with the caption.
Okay.
I'm like, is that just like a shortened? What'd you say his name is? What's his name?
Black Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum?
Santo,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boba Fett follows him out and is like, you want a job? You want a job? I know we just fought, but now you want a job. Which I mean, I think I saw that coming a mile away. I just thought it was going to happen before.
I'm glad that BK came back. I love the fact that he's like, there's obviously the bounty hunter creed comes into play, because like now that the job's over, right? BK's not going to try to kill Boba because he's not getting paid to do it. So now they're just two people doing their thing. I love the fact that he's like, it's nothing personal, it's just business. I think I remember that line happening again or something to that extent.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they brought him back because he's going to be great as one of Boba's guys. And then was it then that ultimate drop happened with the music change? I don't want to give it away until it's time, but they totally straight up alluded toward who Boba's going to bring back to build up his team.
No, then they went to they go to the meeting.
Okay, so let's
talk about not there yet. Yeah, we have the dinner of the gangster dinner.
So the dinner that had the Aqualesh, the weird walrus looking mofos with like the vagina on their faces, and then the weird guys that looked like pissed off bulldogs, and then the Trendoshans or Trendoshans, whatever.
And it's funny, this scene gets at the sort of a little bit of a heart of my general problem with how they deal with both Star Trek and Star Wars, how they deal with planets. They act as if the one city that we see people in is the whole planet, right? So it's like, wait, they're coming to take over Jabba's territory, which is just a portion of the whole planet. But
it is a portion of the whole planet, though, not just that district, you see.
Yeah.
So they are alluding that anything that Boba gets under the Jabba's district isn't just Mos Espa, Mos Eisley, it's planet wide, which is again why you can make a show out of it, because then they can go to Mos Pupa and Mos Tosser and whatever, all of the other named.
But are all of these people so I'm trying to figure out, are all these people basically from the size of the United States, or are they from all over the planet that they represent the different countries kind of?
The Aqualesh don't even come from Tatooine. And I don't know who the Bulldog dudes are. And the Trendoshans don't come from it. I mean, basically think of any Imperial like role-playing game we did back on PCs and Macs back in the day, where you were expanding from continent to continent, or in this case, world to world. I mean, Pikes don't come from the planet either, and yet they're flying cruisers taking over stuff.
Wait, so all these people were not, I imagine these were all from just different sections of the planet that they were.
They're all from other planets. They're all colonizing.
So he's trying to be the whole planet crime boss.
That hasn't even been said yet, because he wants to work with everybody. He said straight up at the meeting, the first thing he says is, I have no, what is it? Like, I have no intent on any of your districts or whatever.
Right.
So He just wants his little piece of pie.
Well, so I'm just trying to figure out if it's like, is it the whole planet?
It's his slice of the planet based off of
Okay.
Jabba's original reach, or the Hutt's
Okay.
original reach. Because that's actually what it boils down to. All of the Hutt's original, again, reach is what he wants. That's why when the twins left, he said, you have to relinquish all claim toward the Hutt deeds on the planet.
Yeah.
And they were like, fuck it, with their fatty little arms, I'm out of here, Actually, they'd be more like this because they can't reach their hands,
Okay, so these people from other planets have power over different portions of this.
I guess. I mean, we're all learning this, right?
Yeah, I just get so confused on that. And then they all decide, okay, he gets them to agree, you're not going to help me, but you're not going to get in my way.
And that's when the Rancor sticks his fingers up and scares the crap out of everybody, which I loved, because we're totally going to see him riding the Rancor at some point, right? Like through a town. Instead of like, I don't need a lift by a bunch of indentured servants. No, I'm going to be riding a Rancor. And he proved to them right there that I have strength behind my words,
right? Which
I thought was cool. And anytime I can see the Rancor, I'm totally happy. So.
Okay. And so then they all leave, and then they're up there. And so you know who he's talking about?
So the music in that scene, and thank you for setting me straight as to when this hits, when he's talking about, once again, then we've got to be ready and we're going to build an army. We're going to war. The music went from the guy who's doing the current musical thread to Mandalorian music. The music switches over to the Mando sound and the Mando theme, not the actual theme, but that sound and that tonality quality to it. I think he's bringing in Cara Dune. She's coming back because Disney finally realized that we shouldn't have canceled her ass. Whatever she said online wasn't that bad. I think they're going to bring her back because she's awesome.
Yeah.
I think possibly we're going to see some involvement from the Mandalorian, because we don't really know what's going to happen in season 3 of The Mandalorian. We'll find out at Christmas or whenever it is, right? So whatever happens there's going to have to be X amount of backstory, what he's been doing. So maybe he'll be in the back of the tank for a few weeks. But point is that we're going to start to see now some overlap. And at the same time, Fennec was talking about, how much money do you have in your coffers? He's like, I got plenty of credit. She's like, well, credits can get you who you want. I think we're going to see Bosk. I think we're going to see IG-88. We might even see Zuckuss, and Zuckuss's little known brother, whatever the hell his little assistant was, Forlom. I think, and then Dengar. So I think there's a chance those roles will be recast, obviously, into active participants, because all of those characters are still alive.
What about Bill Burr? You think Bill Burr's coming?
I would love it. I loved Bill Burr's character. Like I
loved him.
wasn't on your show, and when you were talking The Mandalorian, they built such a beautiful character with him, and like the damage and the background and the stuff that he went through. I mean, the guy's a firecracker.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him in this show, because frankly, he would be kind of the comic relief. Like, I don't want comic relief. I think the Dobby Ratcatcher was comical and fun, but to bring his sarcasm and wit into this, I think it'd be awesome. But do I think he's coming in? No. I think it'd be great, but I think he's a Mando show.
I'm just well, because I would have said the same thing about Cara. I don't know that they'll bring in people from that are rebellion, that were a part of the rebellion. I think it's going to be. I think you're more right on
follow the money, follow the credits. Fennec was totally hinting toward getting the best, and the best are going to be the original bounty hunters. Now,
that's why I think the bounty hunters.
I mean, at the same time, they could bring in ones from the supposed canon, or even the cartoon show Rebels. They could bring in, I can't remember his name, the blue guy with the tubes in his face and the cowboy hat, that guy. And then even the other bounty hunter that beat the shit out of Anakin in the cartoon series that has the huge like disc throwing hat.
Yeah.
There's so many directions they could go with this.
To fight the syndicate. Now,
To fight the syndicate. It has to be a scrappy team, man. This is going to be like the Force 10 and Navarone type shit. It's going to be like really, really dusky, crappy, irritated. BK is yelling at everybody and like, watching, just getting someone to take the raspberries off his backside, whatever.
Yeah.
Or dingleberries. There's going to be some crazy. There's going to be so much fun. Like, I think we're building up to some really fun, like there's 2 episodes left?
3.
3.
Should be 3 left.
I think the last 2 episodes are going to blow our effing mind. I think this next one will be, hey, it's going to be a recruitment video. And Boba's going to be like, is this thing on? And getting the camera the right way. I need you. I think it's going to be weird. and maybe the Bantha will be slowly walking in the background the whole time. But I think the last 2 episodes, I think, are just going to be insane.
I want to see a lot of things with Banthas now, just in the back.
I just love the Banthas. They're so awesome. And he's all hugging it and we're going to miss you. It's like, you're not going to miss him. He's still over there. I totally want a Bantha.
My God.
They were originally using elephants back in the day. It was like an elephant with a stupid suit on. Do you think
elephants can run though?
I know.
Elephants run.
They're still using elephants and then still doing some of the post animatronics. Digital effects. Because he's riding this thing. Although it can totally be all CGI when they go out for any pan shots.
I doubt they're using elephants.
Yeah, there has to be a rule against that now.
There's just some.
We should watch the credits next time. No elephants were hurt during the filming of this episode because they walk so fucking slow,
Can you imagine a Bantha stampede? First, they're all behind each other, right? They're all single file.
They're only single file when they're being ridden by the Tuskens.
Oh, that's right.
All right, the Sand People. So yeah. My God, can you imagine? Can you imagine a stampede? No, I can't.
No.
I'm trying really hard, but no. Oh my God.
Okay, and so that's the episode. I will say, you have made me like the episode more than I did.
Oh, good.
Watched
Good.
it.
And I watched episode I guess it's 3 now with the moped race again, the old people race. Still hate it. Every time they said go Power Rangers, I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah,
I missed that the first and second viewing choice. So. But I'm glad that I was able to kind of switch you around a bit for this one. It was
it's still my least favorite, and I'm still, the dark is bothering me on it. I thought it was just my TV. But my phone is still dark too. So
fix your TV and watch it again. Actually check it out because
put it on bright.
Yeah, put it on bright.
So
that's so awesome.
Okay, so that was season episode 4, The Gathering of the Storm.
Yeah.
And
So your rating overall 1 to 10, 1 being Bantha Poodoo, and 10 being, I don't know, a white lightsaber or a yellow lightsaber.
I think I had it at a 6 when I got here.
Yeah.
And now I think it's 6.5.
Oh, I only got a half point.
Well, because I put the other one at a 7. So.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely at 8.5 on this one.
Wow.
And hearing myself talk about it, I'm at 8.65. Because I like myself that much. Okay, so what do you think's happening next time?
This Bantha paste episode. You know what? One thing I wish they had moved. I don't know what's going to be happening in the next episode, right? But I wish that we had 1 episode break without the angry Wookiee, without the Wookiee. I just wish he didn't join just the next episode. I wish there had been a break without him, and then that episode he joins. I'm like, oh, he's still around.
Okay. Yeah.
I
So
wish that
you're
had
experiencing
happened.
some Wookiee envy. Are you jealous that you weren't asked to be an extra? I mean, come on.
I would have been asked as an extra for as a Gamorrean, more like. um,
I think you'd have made a great watermonger.
I
Just
would have. I'm good at
retaining water.
upselling. Yeah, retaining water. I think we see whomever it is that that we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get the final people of his army that he's getting, and then so we have 3 episodes. So he'll get everybody we need, and then he's gonna. So the last one has to be like him holding off the Pike or attacking them, right? One of the two.
See, I disagree 100%, but I'll let you answer.
Really?
Yeah. So I think next episode is going to be all about the Pikes and what they're dealing with, and the mayor, and possibly that asshole Major Domo. I don't think that
Still locked up.
Yeah. Well, is he right?
Yeah.
So we don't quite know. Maybe he'll get fed to the Rancor. That'd be so amazing. And then I think episode 7 will be the gathering of the troops, and then episode 8 will be the
It's not
Pike.
episode 8.
Huh?
7. There's 7.
Oh, okay. Well, then shit. So then next week's will be a gathering of the troops and dealing with the Pikes in some capacity. Maybe. No. I think Pikes are at the end. Oh wait, that was your answer. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I just don't know if he's going to attack them first or if they're going to attack him. That's where I don't know.
Maybe he'll find out in the next episode, between dealing with the mayor and dealing with this Major Domo, who still needs to be fed to the Rancor. He'll find out for sure that the Pikes whacked the Tuskens. That'll fuel him to get the right people. And then, the final episode will be the whole Pike send off. Somewhere in there is going to be an epic surprise, though, because they do that every time, right? At The Mandalorian, it was the introduction of the Book of Boba Fett, because we got to see Bobo pop Bib Fortuna during the closing credits. So I think it's going to be, we're going to see either Obi-Wan or we're going to see Ashoka in the last episode, because I'm forgetting which one of those shows is next.
Well, Obi-Wan is dead. So
what?
This takes place after Return of the Jedi. So Obi-Wan's not alive.
You're right. Okay. Yeah, I'm forgetting the placement on the timeline.
Obi-Wan died in the first film.
But in the Obi-Wan series,
Obi-Wan series takes place between Revenge and
I'm remembering that now. Yeah. So crap, does that mean he's going to be floating in a back tank every single scene? Because we're going to see Black Chrysanthemum with Obi-Wan. That's how he gets his scar, BK scar. And we're going to see Anakin, Darth Vader. And there's rumors that Ashoka and Obi-Wan are going to have crossovers. Now my time is completely messed up.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
life's challenging.
Wow. Okay. I have no. I'm looking forward to it. Pure. I'm hoping for more speeder bike races and or moped races, more bantha chases, because those are hot. And more Back to the Future fruit falling all over your outfit scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down.
There we go.
And then the Ewoks come in.
This is fun, man.
Ewok food fight.
Yeah, totally. Oh, and blue milk. We all need to have a blue milk shot.
Blue milkshake. Okay, so everyone come back for let's chat about episode 5 next week. So until then.
Brother.
Till then, I'm Silas Lindenstein.
I'm Brian Trendler.
May the force be with you.